Hi, Rodney from Pilbrow Surveying here. This short audio is a companion to our Insider's Guide to Construction Surveying, the Photogrammetry Edition. I am not going to simply read the booklet to you. The booklet already does that job. Instead, I want to give a bit of practical commentary, what UAV photogrammetry is, where it works well, where it needs care, and what clients should understand before relying on the data. Photogrammetry can be an excellent tool for construction and quarry work. It can capture large areas quickly, it can reduce time spent in hazardous locations, and it can provide high-resolution imagery as well as survey data. But like any survey method, it has limits. The important thing is not just whether the drone flew, and it is not just whether the software produced a surface. The important thing is this: is the data fit for the decision you are about to make? That is what these short clips are about. Photogrammetry is simply the science of making measurements from photographs. That sounds simple enough, but the important point is this: a single photograph is flat. It gives you two dimensions. You can see left and right and up and down within the image, but you do not directly get depth. To calculate three-dimensional information, the software needs multiple photographs of the same object or the same piece of ground, taken from different positions. This is similar to how we see with two eyes. Each eye sees the world from a slightly different position. Your brain uses that difference to understand depth. Photogrammetry software does something similar, but with hundreds or sometimes thousands of overlapping photographs. It looks for common points that appear in more than one image. It then calculates where the camera must have been when each photo was taken and where those common points sit in three-dimensional space. Once the camera positions are worked out, the software can create a point cloud and then a surface model. That surface can be used to create an orthophoto, a digital surface model, or after suitable cleanup, a digital terrain model. The important thing to understand is that the software is not magically measuring the ground in the way a total station measures a point. It is calculating the shape of the ground from overlapping photographs. That calculation can be very good, but it depends on image quality, overlap, camera geometry, ground control, and how the data is processed. So when someone says the drone has surveyed the site, the better question is, has the drone data been captured, controlled, checked, and processed in a way that suits the purpose? That is where the survey judgment comes in. One of the most important parts of a UAV survey is ground control. Ground control points, or GCPs, are marked points on the ground whose coordinates and levels have been surveyed accurately. The photogrammetry software can create a model from the photographs, but without good ground control, that model may not sit correctly in the real world. The drone may record approximate camera positions, but those positions are not normally accurate enough for construction survey work by themselves. For useful survey data, especially where volumes, design work, or set-out decisions are involved, the image model needs to be tied to surveyed ground control. The data can only ever be as accurate as the control used to position it. That is a simple point, but it is often overlooked. You need enough ground control, and it needs to be in the right places. As a general rule, control should surround the area of interest. It should not all be clustered in one corner of the site. For quarry work, we have also found that control at different elevations can be important, especially around abrupt height changes such as quarry faces, batters, or stockpile areas. If the survey area has high and low points, the control should help the software understand that full three-dimensional shape. If you only want a general aerial image, then ground control may not matter very much. But if you want to measure from the data, calculate volumes, compare it with design, or rely on levels, then ground control is not an optional extra. It is one of the main things that turns a pretty picture into useful survey data. After the images are captured, the work is not finished. It has just moved from the field into the office. The photographs are loaded into photogrammetry software. The software aligns the images, calculates camera positions, and creates an initial point cloud. Ground control points are then identified in the images, and the model is adjusted so that it fits the surveyed control. Once the cameras and control have been resolved, the software can generate a much denser point cloud. From that point cloud, a mesh or surface can be created. But there is an important distinction here. The first surface produced from the data is often closer to a digital surface model, or DSM. That means it may include everything visible from above: ground, stockpiles, vehicles, buildings, vegetation, and other objects. For many construction purposes, especially volume calculations, we usually need a digital terrain model, or DTM. A DTM should represent the ground surface, not all the temporary or above ground objects sitting on it. That means the data often needs cleaning. Vehicles may need to be removed. Trees or buildings may need to be excluded. Areas of poor data may need to be reviewed. The surface may need to be simplified so it is practical to use in CAD or machine control software. This is one of the reasons you should be cautious about assuming that because a drone has flown a site, a correct terrain model now automatically exists. The capture is only one part of the process. The value comes from turning the captured data into a surface that correctly represents what you need to measure. That requires processing, checking, and judgment. One of the key concepts in UAV photogrammetry is the ground sample distance, or GSD. Ground sample distance means the size of one image pixel on the ground. For example, if one pixel in the image represents 5 centimeters on the ground, then the GSD is 5 centimeters. The lower the drone flies, the smaller the GSD will usually be. That means more detail in the image and potentially better accuracy. The higher the drone flies, the larger the GSD becomes. The image covers more area, but each pixel represents a larger patch of ground. That creates a trade-off. Flying lower can produce better resolution and better accuracy, but it also means more flight lines, more photographs, longer processing time, and often more cost. Flying higher can be faster and cheaper, but it may not provide the level of detail or accuracy needed for some work. There is no single correct flying height for every job. The right question is, what is the data going to be used for? A survey for a rough planning surface does not need the same level of detail as a survey for a detailed stockpile volume. An interim monthly quantity check may not require the same accuracy or modelling detail as a final surface for contract measurement. This is why it helps when clients tell us what the survey is actually for. If we know the purpose, we can choose a flight height, control layout, processing method, and surface density that suit the job. It is not about flying as low as possible just because lower sounds better. It is about getting the right balance between accuracy, cost, processing time, and practical value. The most expensive survey is not always the most accurate one. It could be the one where the accuracy requirement was never properly discussed in the first place. UAV photogrammetry can save money in several ways, but it is worth understanding where those savings actually come from. One advantage is coverage. A ground survey is usually focused on the area specifically requested. A surveyor may pick up some additional data around the edges, but it still takes time to physically observe each point or line. A UAV survey captures a wider snapshot of the site at that point in time. That can be useful because construction work has a habit of expanding beyond the exact area first discussed. If the wider site has already been captured, there may be useful background data available without needing to immediately return to site. Another advantage is safety. Some areas are difficult or hazardous to access on foot. Quarry faces, stockpiles, unstable ground, and busy construction areas can all create risk. Capturing data from the air can reduce the time people need to spend in those areas. There can also be value in having a visual record. A high-resolution orthophoto taken before works begin can be very useful later. It shows what the site looked like at the time of survey. That can help with planning, measurement, and sometimes with disputes about what was already there before work started. There is also an establishment cost with any UAV survey. Getting to site, setting up control, planning the flight, flying the site, and processing the data all take time. So, in some cases, it can make sense to capture a larger area while we are already there, even if only part of the data is processed immediately. The remaining area can be processed later from the same image set if it becomes necessary. That is not always the right answer, but it is worth considering. The main point is simple. The best value usually comes when the survey scope is thought through before the work starts. One of the easiest ways to create confusion in survey work is to ignore the datum. A datum is the reference system used for coordinates or levels. In simple terms, it defines what the numbers mean. New Zealand has a number of coordinate and height datums, and older projects may have used different systems from newer ones. That matters. If previous survey data is on one datum and new survey data is produced on another, the two sets of numbers may not line up. The problem is not always obvious at first. You may have two surfaces, two sets of levels, or two sets of coordinates that all look sensible on their own, but when you compare them, there may be a shift. That shift can affect volume calculations, design comparisons, machine control data, and construction decisions. With UAV surveys, the issue can be hidden because the outputs look so convincing. An orthophoto can look excellent. A surface model can look detailed. The 3D view can be impressive, but visual quality is not the same as correct positioning. Before commissioning new work, it is worth telling the surveyor what previous datum was used, especially if the new data will be compared with earlier surveys. If you do not know, say that as well. It is much better to resolve the datum question before the work is done than to discover later that two good surveys do not agree because they were never using the same reference system. Good survey data is not just about measuring accurately, it is about measuring accurately in the right reference frame. The main message with UAV photogrammetry is that it is a very useful survey tool, but it is still only a tool. It can capture large areas quickly, it can improve safety, it can provide excellent imagery, it can produce useful surfaces for volume calculations, planning, and design comparison. But the result still depends on the full process. The flight needs to suit the purpose. The images need enough overlap and be of sufficient quality. The ground control needs to be suitable in both location and number. The data needs to be processed correctly, the surface needs to be checked, and the datum needs to be understood. A good-looking output is not the same thing as a reliable survey result. The real value comes from matching the method to the decision that needs to be made. That is the point you should keep in mind. Not just, can we collect the data, but will this data help the client make the right decision? That is where surveying judgment still matters.